Okay, sounds good. So a lot of you might not know who I am. My name is Heather. I am the ASC from Escanaba. Carrie had asked me to jump on here and do a Canva tutorial for you. So I make flyers for my agents to go into newspapers. We do a homes brochure that we send out monthly, just local stuff. So I'm just going to kind of go through something real quick with you to show that you can create a flyer for your agents. If you have any questions, please let me know. Okay, so the first thing that I do is for the templates, I use the newsletter template. It's the easiest template. It's basically the size of a printer paper that you can use. So you can go in here and you can choose, you know, a template that's already done if you wanted to just change like the images up. I like to start with a blank template. Just kind of gives it a little bit of uniqueness. So when I go in here, I usually kind of start with shapes to kind of doll up the template, make it a little bit colorful. So then you're going to want to go into your elements for your shapes. And you just click one. You know, you can put it up at the top, at the bottom, wherever you want it. I go in here and I choose my colors. So if you actually pull in like the CB logo, you can change the color of the shape to the CB color. So I'm just going to go into my uploads, pull the Coldwell Banker logo, click on my shape, go back up here to the color section, and then pick my CB blue that I want. And then it changes your shape color. So I'm going to go back in and enter in a frame. So if you want to add photos to it, so say you're going to put your listings in, you can add a frame in and you can change the size of it so you can add more to it. You can come over to your uploads. To upload a photo, like of a listing house, whatever you need to put in there, you're going to upload it straight from your device. And then I'm going to go right into my folder. And then I'm going to pull her listings that she wants. So this agent that I'm creating this flyer for wants me to showcase all of these listings here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick upload, and I'm just going to click and drag the photos and hit open, and it's going to pull them all into here. Usually takes a minute for the pictures to kind of load in here. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this picture and I'm just going to drag it right into the frame. And now I'm going to add some text to it because you want to know what that listing is. I always do add a heading. It's just a bolder print. And then I always put the MLS number. I put it in the picture. So right now you can kind of see that you can't see that MLS number. So I'm going to go into this MLS number. I'm going to just click on the box and I'm going to change the color of it. So you're going to go up here to your text color. I always do a white and then I go to my effects. And then sometimes I'll do like a shadow or a lift and change the color of that shadow to make that number pop a little bit. Typically I do the lift just because it pops a little bit better. So you can see the difference in that. And then we are going to add the location of it. Now I'm going to make this bold so it stands out. Maybe not. There we go. So I'm just going to make it smaller so it fits right underneath my photo. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to duplicate this because I like the font of this, and I'm going to add some information about the house underneath it. So I'm just going to click on the text that I want, go up to this top corner where it says duplicate. And then I am just going to unbold it and then change what it says in there. So this is a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. And this one is listed at 156. I'm going to zoom in here so you guys can kind of see this next step. So what I do, see how these are offset? I click and highlight them, and you can go up to this top where it says position, and you can center them together. So you can align them to be centered with each other. You can make everything even in your page so you're not sitting there playing around for hours trying to get everything perfect. And then if you wanted something to stick together, like if you wanted this MLS number to stick with this photo, you're going to highlight it and you're just going to group it. So then I want this to be centered in here. So I'm just going to highlight it and then I'm going to center it. So then I don't have to worry about that one. That one's perfectly fine. And then I actually need to put 6 listings in exactly like this on the page. So I'm going to highlight the whole thing and I'm going to duplicate it. So then it makes my work a lot easier and it goes by quicker. So I'm just going to put these in here. I'm going to put the 6 of them in here that I need. Oops. And then you can center everything too. If you just do the same thing where you highlight it and then you're going to ungroup them all, group them all back together. I know that sounds weird, but if you don't do it, it's going to center every single thing into the middle into here. So you have to group it like this and then you do position center. So then that makes it centered. Now this agent also wants to add 2 solds. So I'm just going to take this picture and duplicate it twice. So then all my photos are the same size. So then I don't have to monkey around with that. And then all I have to do is go back in here and change all of my information. And then she also wants me to add some vacant land, but she doesn't want to put the pictures in it. So what I think I'm going to do is I am going to add a frame. So in Canva, you can do, there's a bunch of things in your elements that you can do. You can go to, you can search whatever you want. So if you want a frame, if you want a shape, if you want like a flower, if you want anything, you can just go up here and search it. I always just do, when I do my frames, I have one, I guess I don't want a frame. I'm going to go to my graphics. And now there's 2 versions of Canva. There is a Canva Pro. Canva Pro you have to pay for. So anything with this little crown on it, you're going to have to pay to use that. So I try to stay away from those and just use the ones that are free. So I'm just going to go in here and pick out a frame. Just use this one. So then I'm just going to change the size of my frame. I don't think this one is going to work for what I need it to do because I still have to add in my agent information in here. Let's see if we can make this frame work. Sometimes it's trial and error with the frames that you choose. And really it's just a preference from the agent on how they want their flyer set up. I think I might use this one. This one may work a little bit better. So that's where I'm going to enter in the vacant lands that she wants. So I'm actually going to lock this so it doesn't move. So when you lock something, it's up here in this corner. So now I can't move it. So if I'm putting text box on top of it, it's not going to move the shape that I had entered in. So I'm just going to go in and I am going to use a different font. So I'm going to go up here to change my font, and I think I'm going to use this one. And then, oops. I'm just going to put it in there like that, and then I'm going to add in my information for this, for these lots that she wants. So she just has 2 lots. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to enter in the MLS number. But I want this font bolded, so I'm just going to bold half of it. So when I put these in here, I would make sure that there's an MLS number, a price, and then a location. That is all I put in here. I don't put any other information because the goal for this is for them to call this agent who has this. Now, obviously, I would make this text smaller and add another one in here. But for the templates, I just set up one listing and kind of show them what it's going to look like, so they can approve what the flyer looks like before I do all of the work, because sometimes these take a lot of time. So now we got to add in our agent information. She wants her headshot in, her name, her DBA, her phone number, her email, and then she also wants to add in her catchphrase. So I think I'm going to do a border on the bottom. So I'm just going to duplicate this. So I'm going to go into my uploads and pull her agent headshot. And then I'm just going to set it right down here in this bottom corner. I'm going to unlock this because it's not straight. And then she wants to add her Facebook and her Instagram tag. So I'm going to look for a Facebook icon. Use this one. And then if you see something else in here, like anytime you click on something, it comes up with a recommendation for you on images that are similar to what you may want. So I need the Instagram one, so I might as well just pull it at the same time. And I'm going to change that color. I'm going to change it to blue. Make it smaller. Okay. I'm going to take this and I'm going to do this into a different color. So if you want the same shape but a different color, you can always just duplicate your shape and then change the color of it. I find it way easier than going back into my elements and pulling the same shape twice. So I'm going to group those together so I don't lose them. And then you see how this went behind the shape. I can pull it forward by going to my position and just hitting forward. I'm actually going to lock this bottom so I don't move it when I add in her information. So then I'm going to go to the text. It's going to do my subheading just because I don't really need this to be very bold. I'm going to change the color to white so it stands out. And then I'm just going to add her name. Actually, smaller. And I'm going to change this font just so it looks different from the rest of the font. Okay. And then I think her name needs to be just a little bit bigger, so then I'm just going to hit the plus button. And then I'm just going to add her DBA underneath it, but I'm going to make this, or her designation, sorry. I'm going to make her designation smaller. And then I want to make sure that this is centered before I type in anything else. I'm just going to go to position and then center it. And obviously, you're going to have to add the phone number. And then she wants her email. And then she wants to add her Facebook tag and her website address. So I'm going to use the same font and the same size. So I'm just going to duplicate it. And then I'm going to change the color to blue so you can see it. I'm going to make that just a tiny. Oops. Just going to move her over and her information over so I can make room to add her tag that she wants in here. Some of it you kind of just have to play around with until you get the fit that you want. I have to make this a little bit smaller. So now I want to make sure that this is centered with these icons. So I am going to I'm just going to hit tidy up. Tidy up makes it even vertically and horizontally. And then I'm going to group it to make sure that it doesn't move when I move it. So then we are going to add, she wants to add Find Wendy H right here. So I'm just going to take this same font and the same size, I think. and use it over here. You might not be able to use the same size. And then I am going to add her website down here. I'm just going to use the same size right here. So I am going to duplicate this and ungroup it to get rid of. So we got the bottom pretty much done. I'm going to go back in, and then we need to add the Coldwell Banker logo to it. I make sure I add the Coldwell Banker logo to everything just because I want to make sure it gets back to Coldwell Banker, and you notify that she works for Coldwell Banker. I'm just going to go back to my uploads, and I'm going to grab one of the logos. I usually use the longer ones for these types of flyers. And then what I do is I always add the office address and the office phone number to it. So I'm just going to go to text and type in our office phone number and our address. And then I have to change the color to white. It's not too small. I always add it right below it just because I want them to know our office address and then the office phone number in case if they can't reach this agent at this cell phone number. So then I would just go back in after the agent approves the way that the layout is, and I would go back in and I would change every single one of these details with the pictures. And then I would add in more of her vacant land if they had more or whatever they wanted to. So I always just make sure I do the flyer first with one example of what it is, copy it all so they can see what the whole layout looks like. And then I go back in and finish it up. So that's pretty much it. Does anybody have any questions? I'm sorry if I kind of went through it fast. I'm not really a public speaker type person, so.
Can you please, I think we've got some things in the chat, and I requested to know if you can embed a link in the Facebook or Instagram.
I can't see the chat when I'm sharing the screen, so give me 1 second. What do you mean by embedded a link into the icon?
So
I think JD can explain.
Yeah. So basically, like where it says where you have the Facebook and Instagram icons, if you can make it so they're clickable. So if someone clicks on the Facebook icon, it goes to the Facebook page. Now, I know half the answer to that.
I haven't figured that out. I just use this for printable versions. I actually have one of these here right now with me. I don't know if you guys can see this. But this is what I do, and these go into our newspaper, and then we have a brochure magazine that comes out monthly that these go into. So these flyers are mainly for like printing or posting up somewhere. Otherwise, you can save it and post it to your Facebook, but I don't think you can make it a link like to
Yeah.
click.
And that was what I was going to say too, is that
Yes.
if you're saving them as a JPEG, which 99% of the time we're going to be, that's not possible with JPEGs at all.
Okay.
So that wouldn't be a Canva thing.
Okay.
Can I jump in real quick?
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
Team effort. Let's do it.
So I'm also a Canva lover. And if you want to save it as a PDF and post it, you can, and do an electronic flyer, like if they want to email it or something like that. You would just highlight whatever. I don't know if you can do it on I'm trying to think. I think you can do it on an image. If you click on the image, there should be a button up by where you lock it and everything that is like a hyperlink button. And same thing if you right there.
Oh yeah, there is.
Yeah. And if you highlight text or something like that, you can do the text as well. Like if there's an email or something like that, because I do a lot of like electronic forms and stuff. So
well, that's something that I didn't know. So that's always cool to know.
That's awesome. Can you also go a step further and I've done this before, but every time I do it, it's like a whole major thing because I can't remember how to do it each time. Is how do we save this so that it's in a JPEG and I can put it in the Facebook page?
Okay. So to save it for a JPEG, you're gonna go up here to this little down arrow.
Download. That's right.
And so it depends on the template that you pull. It's automatically gonna put JPEG or PNG. This one does PDF. When I send my flyers for like the newspaper and stuff, it has to be in a PDF. So if they have to edit it, the color or shrink it, make it to fit in the box that you're putting it in, they can do it from the PDF. So I always change it, but you can just click there to change it.
There is a JPEG right there.
So then you just click the JPEG.
Okay.
And then download. And then it takes a minute. But then once you do it, it would come up right here. There is 2 pages to here, so maybe that's why it did it in a zip file.
Okay. I have another question. Is this what you're showing us right now? Is this the free version or do you have the pro?
This is the free version. I want the free version account just for the sake of not confusing anybody on it. There is a lot more to the pro account, like these fonts would be in the pro account.
Yeah.
There's some animations in the pro account, but I think the free account works the same as the pro. There's just a couple little different things that you can do with the pro.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I learned a lot.
Any other questions?
Yes, there was one more from Lisa, which is how did you get the photo without a background?
Oh.
Okay, so this, I actually go into a photo remover. I honestly think I just typed it in, or like a background remover, maybe it was called.
And I will say too, this is also the sort of thing you can ask the marketing group to assist with. If you've got photos that you want them to cut people out of, things like that, they can always create those assets for you to have on hand.
This is the exact website that I use to remove the backgrounds. You just go here to upload the image, and then you can pick your agent's photo. And then there you go. And then you just got to download it. Canva Pro does have the option to remove the background on an image. So I could pull in an upload and then edit my image. And it does have a background remover that you can do it that way. If I do a black and white version of these, I always do a filter on the photo instead of editing the color. I guess you could say you can put something over the top of it. So I always do like a grayscale. I put a filter on the photo instead of letting the newspaper filter it, so then it turns out better. So I can pick what way I want it to look. If I want it to look this lighter gray, or if I need it to be the darker version.
Awesome.
But I use Canva for 90% of my posts. On our office Facebook page, I do just listed, just sold posts. The just listed posts I actually use from the Schmidt resources. I do that for just listeds, but for the just solds, I make them from Canva.
Awesome.
So you could do a lot with Canva. Yeah, I think that's everything that I have. I mean, if there's no other questions. I know I went through it really fast, so if anybody has anything and they need help with anything, you can just email me or give my office a call.
Can you give me your name again?
Yeah, I'll actually put my email address in the chat.
Oh, great.
I'll also add that I think Canva is one of those things that gets really fun when you just go and play around with it.
Oh, yeah.
So, if you have spare time, grab some photos and just mess around and see what you can do. Because not to be cheesy, but those possibilities are sort of endless. So